We start here this half hour. Eskom's tariff plan for the next year could see changes to the structuring of electricity rates. The power utility is proposing fixed charges before consumers have even used power. Eskom says the current system is outdated and does not match power demands. The NCA's Govan Whittles has the latest and joins us now. Good morning, Govan. Just talk to us about these proposals.
Well, there are a few significant restructuring proposals that Eskom has made in this retail tariff plan for 2023. And you've mentioned one of them. They're suggesting that South Africans be charged for using the grid and that a flat administrative fee be applied. The rationale behind this is that Eskom says even IPPs and other power generation companies or entities, particularly private power generation companies or entities, are using its grid to feed power to the people that they're supplying, and that a flat rate is required. Some of the other more controversial proposals include a different charging format for charging during peak times and off-peak times, and people would essentially be charged a different rate. And then there is the block inclining tariff. That's the amount of money that you pay after using a certain amount of electricity. So, of course, you wouldn't pay the same for each kilowatt up to, for example, 500 kilowatts. And after that, you'd be charged a different rate. And Eskom says that that's necessary to also present a more cost-reflective tariff structure. And then one of the more interesting ones, Eskom saying that it wants to allow customers who are feeding electricity back into the grid from their own power generation mechanisms, such as solar, wind or hydroelectric, for them to have their electricity bills offset by the electricity that they feed into the grid, essentially making it a little cheaper. Those are some of the proposals that Eskom has put on the table for the plan. If it's approved by NERSA, these new tariffs will come into effect from April next year. But of course, they are controversial. They'll directly impact the price of electricity for people during peak times, during off-peak times. And of course, these proposals will be debated by the Energy Department as well as the Public Enterprises Department. The Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, is expected here where we're joining you from Everton in Sedibeng. He's joined by Mondli Gungubele, the Minister in the Presidency. They'll conduct an oversight visit. They'll start at this Home Affairs office, but they're also expected to speak to some of these proposals that Eskom has made and what kind of material changes it will lead to for homeowners who are buying electricity through the prepaid system at Eskom, and in the future through what Eskom calls the post-paid system, which will allow it to implement some of these restructuring proposals. So we'll be here when the ministers arrive and we'll pose those questions to them about these proposals and whether they expect NERSA to adopt them and for these changes to be effected.
No, it will be interesting to hear what consumers have to say about this. I mean, as we've started this conversation already, I'm sure a lot of consumers who are already stretched given the economy, they might not be so happy about this restructuring proposals. But we'll hear. It's early days. Govan, thank you very much for that update.